Okay, so let's get the mic in the right place here. Okay, so let's start the paint layer. So let's break that down here. Boonk. Okay. So again, I'm trying to keep these nice and casual, so sorry for the little mistakes and audio hiccups here. So that way we can minimize the editing and get through a bunch of these. Okay, so let me turn this layer on. So this is the paint layer. This is where we go one by one. Oh, what is that? Okay, the moon. Okay, and start balancing things out. So I'm gonna turn this layer on. So this is my value balance. And to do this, one of the best way to do it is have a black and white layer here. You can turn this on, and this way you can just see nothing but value. So I'll just zoom this out. You can see by turning this on, I'm now starting to darken the value around this object, right? So I can start pulling the viewer's eye into these two shuttles here. Let me turn it off. So this is something I do in all my paintings. Okay. And here I actually started to paint. You can see it's quite loose, just indicated to get rid of the photographs underneath because the shuttle is, the original version is completely out of perspective and not correct. But I don't care about that. I want the values. You can see loosely indicate that. Okay, let me see what this layer actually did. Okay, just some platform up here. I wanted to do another platform down here, and this is to create that sense of space. So we got a one object here. We got another one, and the human eye is going to think that these two are the same thing, and therefore creating this artificial sense of space between the two here, right? But I put another one down here, number 3. It's going to create even more space between the three. So the distance between here and here becomes massive. And we did that by simply repeating the shapes. And we all know a shadow is roughly, the size of one. So a person standing here is maybe like a little dot, maybe about that size right here, right? That's probably the size of a person. Maybe a little bit bigger, somewhere right there. But that means this person, by the time it reaches over here, gets much, much smaller. They're just a little dot by the time they get over here. And by the time they get over here, you can't even see them. Right? So it's creating this nice gap in between the painting. And it's nice. You create that sense of space. Okay, so that's what that piece there was for. And then we start to bring up some of the lighter values. Let's turn on black and white. You can see what we did here. Right? I want this to be bottom lit, which they often do in these launch pads, right? I'm going to turn the line drawing on so you can see. Okay, so the light is coming from below, which gives that nice NASA-ish space flight type of feel. Okay, then we're going to adjust the values even more. So let's turn the black and white to see. Okay, to push this shuttle down here into space. Okay, because without that value balance, you can see right now they look like they exist in close, even though we have a shape separation between 1 and 2. Value-wise, they're not that well separated because you can see here this black space here, these areas, they're quite dark in value, and their value is exactly the same as the values here. And what that's saying to the human eye is like, oh, these two must be close to each other because the value hasn't changed. And as we know, as things get further from you, the value gets lighter. So by putting this here, boom, we push this further back into space because now these values are different. Darker value closer to my eye, medium value further, and then of course the platform way down here is much lighter in value. And this is something you can see in real life. Just look out your window at something really far away. The same object closer to you will look darker, further away from look lighter. Okay. Here we adjust a few more values. I darken the sky up just a bit. Let me turn off the red stuff. Okay, I darken the sky a little bit more to pop these space shuttles into the front. Here I painted a little bit more details. Let's turn off the black and white. You can see, boom. Right. I didn't really have time to actually finish any of this painting, but I tried to make at least this area here a little bit tighter. The space shuttle closest to us, because since it repeats anyways, just in case this actually needs to go into production or gets made, at least we have something that's somewhat tight. And this one is just a repeat anyway, so it's unless I have a lot of time, I could render this one tight as well. But in a jam, this is good because you have something that's essentially is finished. Okay, as far as the rough painting goes. Okay, so next I'm gonna add some highlights. These guys are cylinders, so they got a turn. These are giant cylinders, so we're gonna get a lot of bounced light on this side, direct light on this side to make these things look actually round. Okay, erase those. Get a little more secondary details. A few more things. So here I started to add some human scale. You can see this thing with people in the front. And we do that to create even further space. That by looking at here, even though they're super, super rough, that this distance between this guy right here and that over there becomes massive. It becomes this huge valley. And that's what you want to achieve, is to create this nice sense of scale. Okay, let's continue here. A few more little details added here. Just tighten it up. This layer, I don't even know what. Oh, I want to put a moon in here originally. You can see there's a planet, but I just thought that compositionally it looked kind of forced. It doesn't look like it really should be there. So I started it, and just something didn't feel right because I think it's competing. This moon is starting to compete with this shuttle launch because you have this nice read like this. This whole valley has this sort of read. You can see from the mountains here. Right, these mountains come down. Let me delete these and show you compositionally how that works. Okay, we have these rock formations that does this. Yeah, and then you hit one of the shuttles and goes up, and then it continues. This rock formation continues this way and hits another one, and it goes up, and then it goes up back this way. It continues, right? Or you can say the opposite effect, which is a slope going from right onto left, and you got another one going up. So, and then these, if you actually connect their tips of these shuttles, creates this. If you connect the bottom of this cliff, it creates a mirrored slope. You can see the slope here is controlled. Okay, so these are all compositional stuff. It could get quite deep explaining how this stuff works, but we'll leave that for a different tutorial, I think, on composition. But all this essentially is a composition here that makes the viewer's eye feel comfortable when you look at it. And the moon, in this case, starts to throw that off because there's no balance for it. There's nothing here to balance the sky out. Maybe I should put something here bright, but in this case, I took it out. I think without it, it's much better. Okay. So I even try hiding it. I try hiding it in the clouds, but ultimately I don't think it is that nice. So I think I left it out, but I think we'll leave this one, the semi-cloud one, in. I think it looks okay because it's kind of out of the way. Okay, let's light up this guy. Spatial launch. This stuff here is very, very, very hot. Yeah, so hot as the sun. I believe. So let's just burn that out basically. Okay, what do I got here? Oh, I added some smoke effect. You can see here. I'll turn this layer on and off. Boom, all this kind of smoke and debris and just really, really streaks. Put some atmospheric streaks going on this guy. And then I did an overall balance. Again, I'm doing these on a projector when I'm in class. So, oops, I forgot one more layer. Oh, that's just signature there, nothing. I'm doing these in class. So what happens is the projectors are quite dark. So it's very hard to see the actual values when I'm looking at the projector. So when I get back into my own computer and look at these in Photoshop, they're always washed out. So I just add a simple layer adjuster, which is a level adjust, so I can see them in its correct values. And so let's check with the black and white to see what we did here. Okay, and overall looks okay. We have a nice read for our design here. This is our selling point here. We have nice read for creating depth between these two, and we have a story going on, which is some kind of spaceship launch. It's very nice. So, and overall design tells the mood, tells the story. Okay, so let me get rid of these red things here. So let's just review quickly what overall we did. Again, this is quite loose. I mean, you can see here it's not even done. But I try to limit these within a certain amount of time so students can get on with it and start doing their homework. Okay, so otherwise I'll be all in class all day doing non-stop paintings. Okay, so let's turn these on, off. Okay, so here's a line drawing. Nice setup. We did some base values and just started adding a series of textures basically to help us get there quicker. And at this stage, you could pretty much get rid of the line drawing and it should work if you look at it small. Okay, and then here we basically add in the paint job. Just boom, 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 boom. Okay, boom, 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 and there you have it. And this is a quick production painting that reads a lot better than just a line drawing on its own without taking too much time. Because again, if you could do something like this quickly, about an hour, 2 hours time, instead of showing this image here, you show these, most likely, oops, turn the line drawing off, most likely clients would dig it because it shows a lot more than just the line drawing. So, all right, hopefully you found this tutorial useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.